Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
So good, so good, so good.
Great gifts for dad? We've got them. And they're up to 60% off at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
They've got the best gifts.
Gotta show dad some love.
Snag amazing deals on Father's Day gifts from Cole Haan, Calvin Klein, Vince, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
This month on Start Spreading the News, we talk about Tootsie Roll, aka Diddy, and his ongoing trial, a Bitcoin millionaire held hostage in New York City, a psychic who predicted where the remains were in a 53-year-old cold case, a message from Luigi Mangione, the 10 escapees from a New Orleans prison, and so much more. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime. This is our monthly segment called Start Spreading the News, where we talk about news.
What up, folks? It's Russ, a.k.a. Lester Holt.
Lester Holt?
Yeah, I looked up who's the most trusted news anchor in news, and he was voted number 1.
Wow. Okay. Good job, Lester Holt.
But I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. And I wouldn't recognize him even if I saw him.
I think you would. He's a black guy with glasses. I think you'd be able to pick him out of the lineup. You've seen him before.
I've seen him, but I've never watched him. I don't even know, news like that.
Yeah, you don't really watch the news.
Because you can't. It's not going to change by me watching it a lot of times. So stop telling me all this negative shit that's going on in the world if I can't change it.
Russ's news sources are Instagram, World Star.
Yeah.
And his own head.
Yeah, I form opinions on things I see, and I judge people.
Russ the Judger.
And I guess you're obviously Barbara Wawa.
I am. I guess I've been other news anchors, but today I'm definitely Barbara Wawa because I'm going to go pretty deep with the Diddy trial coverage.
No pun intended.
Oh, Russ.
You get it? Because there was someone called the Punisher roaming around Diddy's places.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
A
Punisher. I just picture, what does he have, a leather mask on and all baby oiled up?
He did. He wore, so when they showed pictures of him, from that time in his life, he was wearing the BDSM leather shit.
Maybe I'm just jealous that I definitely couldn't be called the Punisher sexually.
Stop.
So I'm probably just a little jealous.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, we're back for Start Spreading the News. We're going to talk about a bunch of news articles. There's so much to talk about. I feel like I have so many notes about the Diddy trial that's going to take up a lot of this episode, but it's just huge right now. And it's a really big part of culture because especially people in our age group, Puff Daddy, Diddy, whatever he wants to call himself, he's been around our entire childhood.
He kind of formed my whole music taste.
Exactly.
The Biggie, Mace, Black Rob, Whoa. And then, G-Dep had one hit.
So many artists came from his label.
Yeah, and then it's crazy because a lot of them are dead.
Yes, a lot of them are
Craig
dead.
Mack's dead. Loon went to jail. Shine went to jail.
Biggie's dead.
Biggie's dead.
I mean, I don't know. This dude, he's such a horrendously terrible person. And like, this trial is really showing us the depths of his depravity, because he is really, really disgusting.
It seems if like he just kept seeing how much more he can get away with, and then he realized he had unlimited power in these situations.
He really did. And
uncontested power.
Yeah, I think so many people were afraid of him and afraid of the consequences and afraid of, I mean, so many people, men and women, were afraid of what he would do to them.
See, this case, though, it gives a whole new meaning to his ad libs. Like when you hear a song and he's like, take that.
Oh, God.
He's like, uh-huh. And he'd be like, I like that. Do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Like those are all his ad libs.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, so every time you hear take that.
Oh, God.
Just someone's probably getting peed on.
Someone's probably getting peed on. Oh, God. You know, Diddy, there's transcripts of the trial or in the indictment where one of the prostitutes talks about Diddy and how he took off his pants and his penis looked like a Tootsie Roll.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll.
So I just want to say, you know, he has little dick energy. It really makes sense that he would have, like, that he would act this way and have a tiny micro penis.
Damn, he's breaking the stereotype for the black men.
He is, yeah. But I mean, if you have a like people who act like this, who they are overcompensating like this much, probably have micro penises. So I'm not surprised.
Sorry for anyone who got that belly button.
Honestly, the micro penis is a very sad thing. I actually, aside from Diddy, which I don't care that he has a micro penis, I'm actually happy for him to have it because he's so horrendous. I really do feel bad for people who have it. So, okay, when talking about the Diddy trial, I personally am following a few creators online about this, and these are the ones that I'm following closely. I'm listening to all their coverage, and they're my favorites. So I'm going to tell you guys so you can get all up to date on everything. So Mona Kozar Abdi, she is great. She's in the courtroom. All three of these people have press passes, are in the courtroom every day, so they're seeing everything. And Mona is so great because she has these quick 1 to 2 minute long videos where she kind of recaps the day or recaps the week. It's like quick facts just being thrown at you really fast. So you don't have to, you don't have to commit a lot of time, but you get like an overview of what's happening. So I really like her coverage. Stephanie Sue from Rotten Mango, she is doing like a long form, very descriptive coverage on her podcast. So like she covered the entire 16 hours of Cassie's testimony, and it was like 2 hours long, the episode or something. And she went through so much detail. So she's really detailed if you're looking for that. So I listen to her podcast for the like more descriptive things. And then Armin Wiggins is this gay, sassy dude on TikTok who holds nothing back. Like he says everything.
So it's safe to say he might be a Tootsie Roll expert.
He might be. But he is so sassy.
Tootsie Roll is the worst candy, too.
It is. It is really. I'm not a fan.
It's not really around much. It was around a lot when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Jess's grandfather with one leg last Halloween was
my Pop Jack.
Well, he was the only. He actually busted out Tootsie Roll.
Oh, leave him alone.
And it's funny, sometimes on Halloween, as the kids come by, he'll take his leg off.
He will take his leg off to freak the kids out.
On one end, he should like hook a water gun into it. And it could be like a dual purpose leg. He could like shoot them with like a water gun.
That's funny. Yeah, Armin Wiggins is gay and sassy and holds nothing back at all. So he's really like interesting to watch and funny to watch. So those are my 3 like sources for the Diddy trial. They're the 3 people who are giving me all my information. So as far as the Diddy trial goes, okay, we have to remember, everybody, that this is the USA versus Diddy. This is a federal case. This is not Cassie versus Diddy. Cassie is just the star witness.
It's crazy that
for the prosecution.
Everything Cassie is testifying, all the sexual things they've went through together, none of that is what he's being charged with. It just seems they're setting up just to show his character and the things that went on in his life, because she probably knew the most because she was his girlfriend.
Yeah, they're setting up a narrative, but they're also trying to prove some of the charges that he has through her testimony.
Well, through her testimony, he pretty much just seemed guilty of domestic violence, and that is not what he's on the stand for. But why not? Why is that not part of the charges if that's so obvious? And there's video of it that they actually have.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm assuming because it's a federal case, there's probably parameters on what they're allowed to indict you with.
They probably don't do domestic violence. They probably leave that up to the state or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know for a fact if that's true. But
do you know why this isn't televised?
No.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard it, probably in a 5-second Instagram or somewhere. I don't even know where I heard it, but sexual cases, like sexual predator, like stuff like that, they don't put it on live TV.
Makes sense, because everything's so explicit.
I don't know if that's why. Maybe they feel bad. I just don't know why. So maybe because it's explicit.
Yeah.
But why does that matter when your kids have cell phones?
Well, yeah, but some of the stuff in here is they can't talk about it on regular cable TV because it's so explicit. It can't be shown on regular TV.
Well, I used to watch Skinamax. Why didn't they put that shit on Max?
Cable TV.
They should put that shit on Max. Well, I didn't really watch Skinamax. I think I had cable for like 1 or 2 months. Like, we got it installed and never paid the bill. But I was hyped. I saw titties.
Yeah, so that makes sense then why they're not showing this on TV. So, they're using Cassie's account of her time with Diddy and everything that he put her through as confirmation of some of these charges. And they're building a narrative. They're building a character profile. Okay. They're also going to take all the things that she's saying in her testimony and relate it to the charges. So the charges that he has in the indictment are RICO, which is racketeering. I talked about it on the John Gotti episode more in depth. RICO became a thing in the 70s to take down the mob. And it's really just a way for them to go after the entire criminal enterprise versus just being able to prosecute individual people with individual crimes.
Yeah, I understand what they're doing with RICO charges, but it seems just like a way of taking people down that didn't actually commit the crimes themselves and other people did it for them.
Yeah, but they ordered them to do it.
I know.
You're the boss. You're ordering them to do it.
I get what you're saying, but nobody could force me to do anything personally. So that's why, so are the people that did the deeds for him, they're not getting charged? They actually did it.
Yeah, they're choosing not to charge him. They're choosing to go after him specifically because he's in charge.
That's wild to me, because if you still did it, you actually did something illegal, even though someone told you to. That takes you back.
So you think they should go down too?
If they did something illegal?
Yeah.
Why aren't they?
Yeah.
And then that takes me back to the stupid saying from when I was a kid that was so annoying. If your friend jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too?
Yeah.
I'm like, motherfucker, we don't even really got water in the Bronx like that to be, get out of here. We know not to go in that water. It's green.
Well, I think that, a lot of what people who worked for him claim is that he ruled with a lot of fear. So people were afraid of him. He coerced people into doing things, and he made people fear that if they didn't do what he said, he was going to hurt or kill them or have them killed or hurt by someone else.
See,
so
I don't know if that's correct, because I was watching one of his assistants on a 60 Minutes thing, his personal assistant, and everyone that works for him because they're trying to be famous.
Yeah.
Whether it's an assistant, they're trying to get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
So I feel that most people just keep doing what he wants because obviously we're not going to get in trouble because he hasn't gotten in trouble for acting like this for years. So let's just keep doing this, get our foot in the door, and we could be famous too and down with the Illuminati.
I mean, I'm sure that they Illuminati.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a part of it. 100%. I think people
And that's why I
want to get a job working for him because you have a road to fame.
I mean, I would have taken a job with him too. He would have been like, "Oh, can you help me set up my freak off?" I'm like, all right, here's your baby oil. I'll go to the store for you and get you some. They said that they used to have a fanny pack with all like freak off supplies that they would carry around with them.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
But then you also think, like, aren't you getting famous so you can have all these hot women? A lot of people are getting famous for that.
Yeah.
So I would have done it. Now, certain things I wouldn't have done. But like, I would figure my job is to help him get his stuff.
But the problem, it becomes a problem when he's forcing people to do it. And then if they decide they want to try to quit or leave, he threatens them. That's the thing. That's when it goes too far.
See,
this is a job. You should be able to leave when you want.
You can leave the job. You could definitely leave the job.
No, some people couldn't.
Bullshit.
You didn't hear all of the testimonies. Some people couldn't leave because he would threaten them.
What is this, Bronx Tale? He would like close the door
He
and say, now
definitely
you
would.
can't
I have
leave.
a lot of notes. I'll explain it as we go.
See, the thing is, Puff sounds like someone that hasn't gotten punched in the face.
Well, everybody knows that Puff is annoying. What did he start out as? Wasn't he like a PR guy or something in the beginning?
I think he was like down with the street team. He was a dancer. I know he was dancing.
Yeah, like he doesn't come from like a rough background.
Yeah, they say he's from Harlem. I thought he was from Mount Vernon.
Yeah. So the charges against him, he has 5 counts. The racketeering charge, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay?
That's the stupidest charge I ever heard. You buy a prostitute.
You're not allowed to buy prostitutes. It's illegal. So it doesn't matter whether you think it's stupid or not. Getting a prostitute is illegal. You can't do it.
True.
So it doesn't matter whether you think it's stupid or a dumb crime. Yes, prostitutes choose that life.
But they're not getting him with buying a prostitute. They get him with transporting the prostitute.
Because you're going across state lines. That's what makes it a federal case.
So now, to me, they're just trying to take him down any way they can, even if it's like a stupid charge. Because everyone knows, like, all these people are buying call girls and, you know, like, that whole lifestyle. I just figured famous people are all doing orgies and running trains and shit.
Well, I mean, a lot of them probably are, but it's still illegal. You're not allowed to do it. So if you get caught.
I thought it was like illegal, but like frowned upon, kind of, you know? Like.
No, Russ, it's illegal. And if people get caught, they're going to get caught and in trouble.
I thought it was like, you know, like you could drive 9 miles over the speed limit normally without getting a ticket. You know, once you go to that 10, then the camera catches you. It's kind of like, we know it's illegal, but we going to leave you alone unless you beat him up.
But he did.
He didn't beat up.
Yes, he did.
Ain't no way he's beating up the Punisher.
No, it was the
Punisher
female.
will slap him in the face with that thing.
The female prostitutes, there was a couple of them that he beat up. And there was also women who weren't prostitutes that he beat up. So
all I know is Cassie.
No, there's multiple.
He beat up other women?
Yes.
Well, I know he used to beat up Kim, from what I heard. And I heard, I don't know, this could be a rumor. Allegedly, Cassie was down and laughing at Kim when she was getting beat up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rumor or not either.
I don't know where I heard it, but it's just alleged.
You probably heard it on some reel somewhere. The RICO charge, I talked about it in the John Gotti episode, and I want to clear it up because I feel like people don't understand, people as in you and other people don't understand this charge and why he's being charged with it, but it's actually very simple. So I'm going to clear it up for people, okay? Our company, right? Me and you, we have a company.
What's our company called?
Radio Drive Media. All right.
Shout out to the media, son.
Radio Drive Media is our legit business, right? We're registered in Maryland. We are a corporation. We're a legit business. So we make money making podcasts. If the money that we make from Radio Drive Media is used to do anything criminal at all, that's racketeering, okay? So if Radio Drive Media's money is used to, I don't know, commit arson, or buy prostitutes or pay for parties where people are coerced or forced to have sex, or the people who work for Radio Drive Media decide to go and beat someone up or kidnap them or hold them hostage. That is committing a crime with the money from our business, and that is a RICO charge. It's racketeering. That's what that is. It's very simple.
Okay.
So the racketeering charge is because his legitimate business, money, and people working for him were committing illegal acts, crimes. It's very simple. So the feds are going to get you for it. Plus, multiple times, he used his money from his business to buy prostitutes. He was literally doing it. He was buying sex workers. He was an idiot. He was buying it through his business. He was transporting them, flying them out with his business money. Like, you got to be an idiot to do that.
That's crazy. So folks, pro tip. You got a business. You're going to buy prostitutes. Put the money in your regular bank account first and buy them through there. Because if you buy the prostitutes with your business, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, right. It's called racketeering. Yep. In the original indictment, it only included one victim, which was Cassie Ventura. But now it involves 3 more victims. So there's more victims that are going to take the stand. This is a federal case because the crimes occurred in multiple states. And they chose to charge him and try him in the Southern District of New York because that district has a 95% conviction rate. So homeboy is going to prison without a doubt. I don't care. So his defense team is made up, I think, of 12 lawyers. They're all making around $10 million each. Isn't that crazy?
No, because
crazy.
He's a billionaire, so that means nothing to him.
All right, well, $10 million each. And, I have to say, their cross-examinations, when you're watching the coverage of it, they're making a lot of good points, like as a defense attorney should, but he's still going to prison without a doubt. They're not going to win.
They did a good job at making Cassie look like
she was down with
she was his partner in crime.
Yeah.
Because she said that, and other people have said that was there. She asked the people to pee on her and all that. Like, she set up the party. She brought supplies. She found the prostitutes. And, so she was an active participant in it the whole time.
Well, I think that the defense is going to, obviously you're looking at both sides. If you're looking objectively, take emotions out of it, right? And we're looking objectively at these two sides.
I don't got no emotions for this.
I'm just saying, for people listening, take your emotions out of it, right? You have these two sides, these two teams that are fighting to convince this jury, right? Of course, you're going to the prosecution is going to say the psychological side of it. Like most of domestic violence victims, there's a whole psychological aspect of it. There's a whole part of it that is like, she was coerced into this. She was groomed from a young age. Like, they're going to go down the psychological side. The defense is going to go down the facts are facts. This is what her text message said, and this is all it means, without going in depth with the psychological side of it, of how she was coerced and groomed. So it all, it depends on the jurors sitting there and how they're taking this information. And I feel like the defense is really trying to prove that she was down with a lot of this stuff. But I don't know if the jury is totally convinced, because when you have this woman in front of you, this is 16 hours she was on the stand, right?
Being pregnant definitely helps the prosecutors.
Why? Because it's just...
people have more sympathy for pregnant women.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So, if you're looking at both sides, completely emotions out of it, I think both sides have made good points. But I still think that he's 100% guilty. He's 100% going to prison, and he's 100% a disgusting scumbag. And fun fact, I've already said this before on the podcast, but I'm going to say it again. I told Russ years ago that Diddy was having sex with a bunch of dudes in the music industry,
but that's
because
okay.
I knew firsthand that he was having sex with B2K, because I knew from somebody who knew them.
Yep.
And I told Russ this years ago. I think like when
he would come in the room and he'd be like, bump, bump, bump.
God. So I told Russ this on like one of our first dates, and you were like, nah. And I was like, yeah, I'm telling you, he has sex with a lot of the music artists, a lot of the guys. And Russ didn't believe me until all this came out.
I mean,
and I've known that. And
Omarion be working in fucking Dollar Tree right now if he ain't.
I ain't talking about that, Russ. The point is that he used his power in so many situations to manipulate, coerce, abuse, do horrible things to many people around him. And I cannot wait for him to go to prison because he deserves it.
I mean, long as being a bad person doesn't get you locked up, doing illegal stuff gets you locked up. And it seems like he did some illegal stuff.
You sound very like you're like, are you not convinced that he's a scumbag piece of shit?
No, I am convinced he's a scumbag
like
piece of shit.
You even listen to Mace and Cameron's podcast. They won't even comment on this, but many times music people that were with him have talked about how big of a piece of shit he is. Biggie was trying to get away from him before he died.
Oh no, he's a very shitty person.
Okay.
Now,
so then why do you seem like you keep like doubting his piece of shitness?
Because I really haven't seen much besides him buying prostitutes that he did illegal. Oh, and domestic violence.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, and that's so far, especially a woman.
Based on what I explained about racketeering, you don't understand how
he's racketeering. Yeah.
Yes, it's full stop. He's engaging in racketeering. Full stop. But there's not a but.
They didn't do any, like they're saying he raped people. There's no rape stuff. I'm waiting for that.
That's not.
I want them to get him. If he, I want them to.
They can't. I don't think they can charge him. This is a federal case.
So they're charging him with getting people to get the prostitutes for him.
And using his business's money.
Well, are we going to get into the testimonies?
A little bit, yeah. I have this, yeah. So if you're following the case, you know a lot of details about Cassie's testimony, right? And it was a very emotional testimony. It went on for 16 hours. There was a lot that came out about how he treated her, how she felt stuck in this violent relationship. And a lot of people have talked about her testimony specifically because she was the star witness. So I'm not going to necessarily get into all the details about Cassie because
the problem with her testimony, what they showed is even after she wasn't with him and she was in other relationships, she kept going back to freak offs.
Mm-hmm.
And she even FaceTime Puff. I mean, she was with Puff in the bed, cheating on her current husband while FaceTiming her husband while Puff is laying next to her.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem as if like she wants to be with him and she'll do anything and he just doesn't want to be with her. And she's mad. This is a fact that Kim, the one that died, the mother of his children, is always his number one.
Yeah, she was
and
mad
she's
about
very
that.
jealous of that.
She was jealous. She said that in her testimony.
Now, I know she was treated like shit and domestic violence, and that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like she was doing whatever she had to do to keep him and her lifestyle.
Okay, but you have to also, there is a whole psychological component here. And I'm not going to get into too many details because it's just so much. But there's a whole psychological component of this girl who was young when she met this guy who was significantly older than her. It's a violent relationship. She feels like she'll do anything to make him happy. She wanted to do anything to make him happy. He knew that, and he capitalized on it. I think he knew that he had put her in a position to do these things because she felt like she couldn't leave. There's just a lot more to it.
Oh, no, it's terrible.
Not as cut and dry as you're making it.
I'm not making it cut and dry.
Yes, you are. You just said she seemed like she was down with it, blah, 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 based on the facts of like the text messages or whatever. But it goes so much deeper than that.
Well, he should go to jail for beating her and all that. Like, he's a piece of shit and someone should fuck him up. But it just, from what I see, like, all the sexual stuff, it seemed as if she was a participant and saying, like, I can't wait for the next one and I want to do less drugs next time so I can remember it better and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, there are swingers. They definitely started off swinging. I saw that.
Yeah.
And some people are into violence during sex.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, and he should go to jail. I believe that because he did commit crimes. And I just feel no one is innocent in this. Like, everybody participated. If you did what he told you to do, you participated too.
Well, little grown men were afraid of him. How do you expect? She was scared of him.
Were the grown men afraid of him?
Scared to
or they
leave
didn't want to
him.
lose their job?
No, they were afraid.
And a possible choice at fame. You're going to lose any chance you have at walking red carpets.
No, they were afraid.
Mansions.
No, there were many of them
orgies.
that said they were afraid of him and what he would do to them because he had people who would commit crimes for him. Just wait, I have more to tell you. Kid Cudi took the stand and talked about how he fell in love with Cassie in 2010, right? And she told him that Diddy was physically abusing her and that she was afraid of him. So Kid Cudi was upset because he fell in love with her and she really wanted to leave him and she was dating Kid Cudi, right? Well, then Cassie called him and said Diddy found out that we're dating. And Diddy went to Kid Cudi's house and locked his dog in the bathroom and opened up his Christmas presents.
I couldn't believe he opened up the Christmas presents.
I know.
You know what? I kind of respect the petty with that one action. Like, he was like the Grinch, like, fuck yo Christmas. Let me see what he got in these packages.
Yeah, well...
everyone likes opening packages, especially you, because Amazon delivers a box or 2 or 3 or 7 a day.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So he comes home, Diddy's not there, but his Christmas presents are open, his dog's locked in the bathroom.
Yeah, because Kid Cudi, like, he's not home day or night.
Oh, God, Russ, you're an idiot. So then a couple months later, he gets a call from his dog sitter and says that his car's on fire and that someone had threw a Molotov cocktail in his car. Okay. I think like a year goes by. Diddy and Kid Cudi end up meeting at Soho House to talk about everything. And Kid Cudi says that when he walked in the room to meet him, he was like looking out the window and he said that Diddy looked like a Marvel supervillain.
Yeah.
Like, overlooking the city through the
funny.
Soho House window. And at first, Diddy denied having anything to do with his car blowing up. But years later, he came to him and apologized for everything. So he definitely committed arson and blew up his car.
I think he told Cassie or Kid Cudi that he'll blow up his car.
Yeah.
Before that happened.
He did. He told it before it happened. Then he denied it. And then years later, he apologized to Kid Cudi for it. So he definitely did it. Another big testimony was Dawn Richard, and she's from Danity Kane. And she testified to witnessing Diddy abuse Cassie, like right in front of her. And then he also threatened her, Dawn, with death if she ever spoke out about it, because she was uncomfortable with the fact that he was beating Cassie up. And he gave her death threats if he ever spoke out about it. And she testified to that on the stand. Okay. So people are actually afraid of him. She said that Diddy and his inner circle kept everyone in line through fear, through constantly threatening people. And then Diddy's former assistant also testified that he quit because he felt like his life was at risk. So there are multiple people who have said now in court on the stand that they felt like their life was in danger from being around him because he threatened them all the time.
They sound very scary. They're scared.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem, I probably would have told Puff, eat a dick, and he would have been like, whip it out.
God. So today...
He would have been like, give me that vanilla Tootsie Roll.
Ew. So today, Capricorn Clark...
Vanilla Tootsie Rolls were the worst. Whoever thought of that?
Yeah, they were. So today, Capricorn Clark, which was Diddy's former assistant, she was his assistant for years, she testified today on the stand that she was once kidnapped by Diddy's associates and held captive on the 6th floor of a building that was under construction. She was held there for 5 days because Diddy accused her of stealing jewelry, and he made her take a polygraph, and he told her that if she failed the polygraph, she would be thrown into the East River.
Oh, shit.
So homeboy is doing a lot of criminal things, threatening a lot of people. And if there are men and women who are scared of him, how do you think Cassie wasn't scared to leave him? She literally got beat up by him all the time. She was afraid to leave. She wanted to do whatever it took to keep him happy. She was scared to make him upset. But she also, in a complex world that this is, she also loved him. That's how domestic violence and abusers do this. You know, you fear them, but you love them at the same time. And she wanted to make him happy, and she was like doing whatever it took. It's very complex. There's also a few myths out there surrounding the trial. So there's been a lot of people reporting that Steve Harvey's name has come up in the trial, and that's not true. Steve Harvey has a bunch of old clips that have come out of him talking about baby oil.
Survey says.
But his name has not been mentioned in court at all related to this case. So he's not at all involved with Diddy in regards to this trial in this case. People are also saying...
Yo, they were saying Puff had sex with Carl Winslow.
Yeah, that's out there.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not during this case.
I mean, maybe he likes them thick.
It didn't come up in this. It didn't come up in this trial or anything.
That's wild.
That's just,
I heard it on the internet.
That's just a rumor, Russ. You're just spreading rumors.
Well, I mean, we could call this Rumorville.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we need a segment called Rumorville.
Rumorville. Yeah.
Well, I heard it through the grapevine.
Oh, that's a good one. I heard it through the grapevine.
Well, now we're going to have one of these podcasts stealing ideas like they always try to do.
Heard it through the grapevine.
Hey, just say, shout me out or something.
Well, heard it through the grapevine. Puff had sex with Carl Winslow.
That's wild. They gave him that Tootsie Roll. Wasn't Carl Winslow Urkel's dad?
No, not Urkel's dad. Carl Winslow was the dad from Family Matters, but he wasn't Urkel's dad.
Family Matters is Urkel. Urkel
was the next door neighbor.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe Puff was like, did I do that?
Oh, my God.
And then he left the room and came back like Stefan. All cool and shit. It's like, bad boy. Uh-huh.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So another rumor that's out right now is people are saying that there are explicit recordings of Meek Mill and Will Smith that were played in court. This is also not true.
Aww.
They were not played in court.
I wanted that to be true that of Will Smith.
Oh, really?
I hate Will Smith.
Yeah, you have a thing against Will Smith.
Because he's a bully.
You can't stand him after the Chris Rock thing.
He would have never slapped anyone. Like, what if 50 Cent was up there saying what he said?
Yeah.
Or The Rock. Or anyone else. Your big-ass ears wouldn't have did shit. You would have sat in that seat like the bitch you are.
Yeah, he can't stand Will Smith because of that. And I get it. I mean, it was a bitch move.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, Chris Rock is like the nicest guy ever. He's like so nice.
And even if he's not nice, he's so little.
And he's a comedian.
And he only said G.I. Jane. First of all, that was the most tamest comment that could have been made. And then he even mumbled like, oh, what I could have said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I took it easy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's kind of a little overview of what's happening with the case and the trial. And if you guys are looking for really good coverage, Mona Kozar Abdi, she has the quick facts. Stephanie Sue on Rotten Mango has the long form stuff, and Armin Wiggins is so entertaining. He's on TikTok. He's super sassy and he holds nothing back. Definitely suggest those three to get all the details about this trial. But Homeboy is definitely going to prison, and fuck him and his Tootsie Roll penis.
Sassy gays are my favorite.
They're the best.
They're so funny.
There's nothing better than a sassy queen. Seriously.
Yeah, they're very funny.
They're hilarious.
Especially because they tell me I'm handsome.
They do.
But I feel like they're just dudes that are like, they're still dudes, and dudes are always horny, and they're going to say whatever they got to say to try to get, some
You've
sexy
gotten
time.
hit on by gay men a lot.
Yeah, but I never, it's not my thing.
No, it's not your thing, but you've definitely gotten hit on by a lot of gay men.
I got options. Be careful, Jess.
Okay.
So speaking of peeing on people.
Oh, God. Okay.
There was an Italian tourist that was kept hostage inside of a New York City townhouse for 2 weeks, I believe it was, by his two business partners, and he was tortured for his Bitcoin password.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so they demand the password. I guess he wasn't giving it to them. So they beat him with a pistol, put a gun to his head, used a chainsaw on his leg.
Jeez.
Tied his wrist, shocked him with wires, dangled him off a building. It was only a 3-story building.
Still.
Yeah. And last but not least, peed on him.
They did?
Yup.
All for his Bitcoin password?
Yeah, but that could be millions. One Bitcoin right now is about $100K.
Did they know him?
Yeah, that was their business partner.
Oh. Wow, so they were business partners? I wonder if they were friends. Not really friends, obviously.
Oh,
but
yeah, you're
I wonder if
friendly.
they pretended to be friends.
Yeah, so they had him in there, and in this townhouse,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like low end. They were paying like $30,000 a month rent.
Oh, my God. So
Yes.
they were rich.
Yeah, so they all have money. The guy that had him was known as like a Bitcoin, like a crypto dude.
Oh.
So eventually he ended up getting out. He ran out of the building somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see, and I don't know how they used a chainsaw on his leg. Maybe they just skinned it or something, because he was able to walk just fine.
Oh, okay. So they didn't like chop his leg off or anything.
Yeah, so when they said use a chainsaw on his leg, I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Like, they didn't go crazy on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it still sucks. Even if a chainsaw touches
So
you.
scary.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. So he got out and he ran to a New York City traffic attendant, who are the worst scum of the earth.
The traffic cops? Oh my God, I can't with them.
They don't give a fuck. They're just trying to give you tickets.
I have a story, but I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
So anyway, he runs to him, and I don't know what happens. I guess then he calls the cops, but Traffic City, they're very jaded as well, because everyone in New York City hates them.
Yeah, everyone hates them in New York, for sure.
My friend.
I was about to say, wasn't Onyx a traffic cop?
Yeah. He was a traffic cop for a little while, because when he got with his wife started making him take these city tests because she didn't want him to be a bum.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good
the
for
first
her.
one that called was traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that write tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So he was on Fordham Road. If anyone knows Fordham Road, when we was young, so we used to go buy sneakers and shit like that, and he would walk around, and you could give 1 billion tickets on Fordham Road. Everyone's like, well, parking, there's no parking. It's chaos. But he would write like 1 ticket a day, and the rest and they write like 30. And then you're not allowed legally to give a quota because they can't do anything.
Oh.
You just won't get the better routes, I guess you would say.
Oh.
So he would just wander around, and like, he was a regular dude. Like, he'd see something with a meter out. He'd be like, yo, is this anyone's car?
He would like warn people before he just wrote them tickets.
Yeah, because you're getting paid the same no matter how many tickets you write. There's no commission.
Yeah, exactly.
So neighbors talked about these people's house, and they said it was basically a high-end frat house.
Oh, wow.
With high-end liquor and a stripper pole, and a lot of noise coming from there often.
A stripper pole?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So maybe they were just, doing workouts on the pole.
Maybe.
What do they call that? Polar size?
Pole dancing.
Pole dance.
Pole dance classes.
Yeah. So, and they went and they got the dude from the house and arrested him, and the third business partner wasn't there, and he actually turned himself in today.
Okay.
So I don't know where this is gonna go. The dude was an Italian tourist that got.
But he was their
tortured.
business partner?
That's what it said.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So according to my sources,
Okay.
that'd be a good segment too. According to my sources.
Well, the last.
And my source is me.
Yeah, that was the title of our last Start Spreading the News.
I like that.
Yeah. Well,
I forgot I made that up last time, and I felt very creative right now. Like I said it again.
because you don't remember anything.
No.
Well, that's crazy. That's a really crazy story. I have a story about a traffic cop. So I was on Canal Street once. I can't remember who I was with, but I used to go down to Canal Street to buy all the knockoff bags, especially back in the day, like circa 2008. You could get some really good knockoff bags. Then they really came down on them on Canal Street, and then you could only get the really good knockoff bags from the African dudes who would have it in the suitcase, and then they'd pull them out real quick, and then they'd put them away.
Yo, if your friend Rosetta's listening to this, she's rolling over in her grave. I mean, she ain't dead. I couldn't think of a way. She probably just threw up in her mouth a little bit by listening to, because she's the bag aficionado, folks.
She is. She has a lot of beautiful bags.
She has a lot of overpriced bags with initials on them.
She has a lot of beautiful bags. So,
but, you've come a long way, because some of your bags are real.
Yeah, some of my bags are real.
You don't have any fake bootleg bags.
No, I don't have any fake bags now.
But you also don't have all brand name shit, like just nice leather bags.
I have a couple nice ones and a couple, medium ones.
I bought you an expensive one for Christmas once.
You did. You bought me a beautiful YSL bag.
I felt like it was kind of ridiculous spending that much money on a bag, but
yeah, but you did.
If you like it, you
did a
deserve
great
it.
job.
And I was working a lot, so at the time I could afford it.
Yeah. So anyway, I would go down to Canal Street all the time. I mean, I was only 22. I was buying knockoff bags. So when I was down there with somebody, I can't remember who, we were walking down the street, and this schizophrenic guy, he was like a crazy dude. He was on the other side of the road, and he was walking back and forth, screaming his head off, right? So this girl, this young girl, she was probably like a teenager or like early 20s like me, was just walking down the street with her umbrella in her hand. He walked up to her. He grabbed her umbrella out of her hand and started beating her with it.
Oh, my goodness.
Beating her. Okay. So I ran over to the traffic cop, and I was like,
oh, they have no power.
It doesn't matter. Can't you call somebody?
No, but running over to a traffic cop in New York City is the equivalent of just running over to any random man, because they don't do any of that. Like, they have a police badge, but you'll be very confused if you're not from New York, that all they can do is call.
Well, they could call.
But so could you.
He wouldn't.
But so could you.
He literally he goes, what am I supposed to do? He's literally beating the girl across the street. And I'm like, he's beating her up. Can you do anything? And he's like, I don't know what you want me to do.
He said, thank you. Come again.
He said, I don't know what you want me to do. And I was like, okay. It was crazy. And then finally, like, some other pedestrians kind of got involved, took the umbrella from the guy, but he was beating this poor girl up with her umbrella.
That's crazy.
I felt so bad. And
I think umbrellas aren't like a bat, so
it still hurt. He's beating her with it.
Was she on the floor, or was she standing up at this
No,
point?
at first she was standing up, then he got her on the ground, and he
no.
was hitting her nonstop with it. And she was trying to get up and run away. Finally, she got up and ran, and then these other guys grabbed him.
They should have pounded him out.
Threw the umbrella out, took the umbrella out of his hand and threw it.
Now I'm just thinking of that Missy song. She's talking about umbrellas. I can't stand the rain.
You're so random. So anyway, yeah, the traffic cop did nothing and literally said to me, "What am I supposed to do?"
They're, I believe, not too long ago, they became actual NYPD.
Well, he had an NYPD uniform and badge on.
Yes, but you're not from New York, so you don't understand. They became NYPD to protect them from getting beat up.
Oh.
Because before they would get beat up and it wouldn't be as big as a penalty, but if you assault a New York City police officer, that's a big charge. So now they changed all that. I believe even like bus drivers, you get charged the same thing.
Wait,
shout out to my friend Jay, who got spit on by a bum in the eye. He's a bus driver.
Wait, so prior to them becoming NYPD,
they were just like meter maids.
They were meter maids, and so because they are giving so many tickets out, they were getting beat up, so they made them NYPD officers, like with a badge.
Yeah, but
like a branch of the NYPD, is that what they are? Like a special little branch?
Yeah, like you don't need any college, you could just go straight out of high school. They don't make very good money.
Yeah, but then you're charged like assaulting an officer?
Yeah. If you beat them up, if they give you a ticket.
Wow.
Which is a big, that's a big charge.
That's a huge charge, yeah. Wow. So that is a crazy story about the Bitcoin dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of New York, I have...
Anyone want to give me a Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I sold Bitcoin. I didn't have a lot when it was 6,000.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, last I checked, it was like 105.
We wish you would have held on to it.
Yeah, I actually lost money.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of New York, I was reading an article about Luigi Mangione, right?
The king.
And
Free
the king,
this man.
oh
King
God,
Luigi.
you're ridiculous.
Free Luigi.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, free Luigi, I'm down. But the king.
Yes, because United Healthcare is causing a genocide that they do not claim. They are killing people by not covering their health care that they paid for.
Delay, deny.
Yeah, so they are literally killing people.
Yeah,
so
they are. It's true.
You know, I've been kicked out of a hospital when I couldn't walk at all.
You couldn't even sit up.
I couldn't even sit.
Yeah, you couldn't even go from laying down to sitting up on your own.
Fuck
insurance.
This. That's the one thing. Like, healthcare, food, or something I just wouldn't deny. You hungry? Okay, you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
You're sick? We have the medicine right here. You can have it.
Yeah.
Like that. Like just keeping. That's the bare minimum to being alive.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. Well, Luigi Mangione, I was reading an article about it and about him. And, you know, he communicates with a lot of supporters. He has people writing him letters all the time.
He's a heartthrob.
Yeah, he is a heartthrob.
Yo,
too.
if he gets out or even in jail, if this dude creates OnlyFans, rich.
It's true.
Yo, slang that thing, Luigi.
It's true. He would be rich. So he has a lot of supporters and a lot of people write him letters. And I found this interesting because one of his supporters wrote him a letter and asked him how he remains so chill, right? How do you remain so chill? And this was his response. Jules, I spent 1.5 years living on a broken spine that I could feel sliding around every time I stood up, walked, or rolled over in bed. To exist in such a state, your physical being split in two, is an endless physical and mental war within the self. After you have fought and won internal wars, nothing external, nothing will ever faze you. That and I have the best team in the world. Carpe diem, Luigi Mangione. That's what he wrote back.
Hashtag free Luigi. I don't care what anyone says.
So, you know, he was talking about that, like that he lived in pain from the spinal cord injury that he had for 1.5 years.
Boy, do I know about that.
And he like suffered from pain every single day and nerve pain and this, you know, every single day moving around. And like you can totally relate to that.
I'm in pain 24 hours a day. I've never said that till now, but I'm always like right this exact moment.
Yeah. You're in pain all the time. And you don't, you know, you do such a great job at like not letting it affect you and you really try to push past it.
I don't complain.
Yeah, you don't complain about it.
I hate complaining. If it like just talking about something you can't change to me, it just seems like complaining and it's like just dreary. You ever been around someone that just complains?
Yeah, it's like you're a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, like yeah.
But you're allowed to complain, Russ, sometimes. It's okay.
I mean, I say ow.
No, I know you do. And like sometimes it gets the pain gets very overwhelming. And you have good days and bad days. But I thought that was a really interesting letter that he wrote back to one of his supporters talking about it. And it just reminded me of you and how you're in pain every day and how like when you've fought these internal wars, external things don't bother you as much. Like you're just not fazed by external bad circumstances. So I thought that was really interesting. His team apparently has now so they've petitioned the court because there are 3 different jurisdictions that are charging him. So he has New York, Pennsylvania, and federal charges against him. So 3 different, and one of them is a death penalty case. So his team is pretty much saying that this is double jeopardy because he's being charged with all in these 3 different jurisdictions, and they're trying to get 2 of them to like drop the case and dismiss the case, at least 2 of them. So
I feel like I don't know if you remember this dude. It was a gay dude that cried and screamed, "Leave Britney alone!"
Yeah.
I feel like that with Luigi.
Really?
Yeah. Leave him alone, bro. Free this man.
I know. Leave Luigi alone.
I mean, corporate greed causing death. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why businesses always have to make more. Why can't it be like, man, we're fucking killing it and we're rich as shit? Why is it always... There's a saying that causes this. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
And that's, you know...
Yeah.
So, fuck them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the guy, Brian, the CEO, he was single-handedly responsible for upping the deny rates by like 31% or something crazy. I mean, it's pretty nuts.
So, you know, I'm not condoning what he did,
No.
but I understand why he did it.
No, I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't think anyone's condoning murder, but they do. A lot of people understand why he did it. I think that's a common view from a lot of people.
So, yeah, because I can't condone anything on the podcast.
Yeah, me neither.
So how I feel is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like, you want to be like a woman like Jess and read between the lines, because she does that all the time. Like, I'll say something and she'll read between the lines. Like, did you mean this? Like,
Of
what?
course, that's what women do.
I just said, like...
That's what over-analytical women do. Like
I
me.
just said, are you going to eat all that? And she's like, are you calling me fat? Are you saying... Like, what? Maybe I was like, can I have some? Or, like, I don't know. All right. So another thing that's going on in the world is, which I'm sure everyone has seen, is the 10 escaped prisoners.
I know, it's crazy. It's 10 of them.
So they escaped from a jail. They went through the toilet.
They did?
They pulled the toilet out and they went behind the toilet. And 10 of them escaped.
Wow.
Right now, 2 of them are still out. They got 8 of them.
They got 8 of them already? Wow.
Yeah, so right now, they were trying to figure out how they got through there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a maintenance worker, Sterling Williams, who turned the water off on the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been arrested. He said that the guys threatened that they would kill him. So that's why he did it. So when they escaped, they exited through a loading dock and they climbed over a barbed wire fence using blankets.
Okay.
I didn't know that would work. Barbed wire kind of like...
You thought it would go through the blanket?
It gives me like, when I think of barbed wire, it kind of gives me like the shivers.
Yeah, I just got the shivers when you said it. Ugh.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy that, to me, that they got caught so fast. Because
Really?
they had an 8-hour head start.
Okay.
So you could get really far.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that I know, like, there's certain ones how they got caught. Like, someone got caught at his grandmother's house.
Oh, really?
Like, a fucking idiot.
Oh, wait. Didn't the grandma get arrested, too?
They arrested a lot of people.
Because she gave him money or something and hid him for a day or something? Like, I did read that about the grandma. Grandma got arrested.
Yeah, they've arrested like 8 people as far as I know. There might be a little bit more right now. And this is just people that they're saying that helped them. But now I wonder how far the help is. Did, they just come to the house, I gave them something to eat? Or if you gave them money.
Probably.
So like all that's helping. That's crazy. And of course your grandma loves you and they're going to help you. But they said the grandma didn't know anything about this and did not get arrested.
Oh, I thought she did get arrested.
No, I remembered as I was talking.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't get arrested. So that's good because like a grandma's love, like if you just let them come in and eat some food and shit, like come on, man. Just if you didn't call the cops, that shouldn't be something. Like I'm just trying to mind my business. This shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And then another idiot got caught on IG Live.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Obviously, he was young. And the other one got caught at home.
Okay.
Literally, like...
You went home.
You went home. There were a few high-speed chases.
Okay.
But overall...
Homeboy went on IG Live.
IG Live.
What an idiot. Oh, these people are stupid.
So, I mean,
that's really interesting. So there's two of them that are still out on the run.
Yeah, and there's a $20,000 reward. One of them has like tats all on his face, so that ain't good for hiding.
He's gonna be easy to spot. Interesting. I can't imagine what they felt like when they broke out of jail, because like it's probably every inmate's dream to break out of jail.
They probably felt like Braveheart. They probably screamed freedom. They were all running. It looked like they were like tiptoeing in the video. It was kind of crazy. Like,
Really?
But, and the hole in the prison, like, look it up. Like that, there was like bars behind the toilet and like.
So how did they get through it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, that they could fit. Like, I probably would have been left behind because my head is big. And I was like, my head probably can't fit through that, that little shit. I was like, how'd they get out of that?
That's funny. Wow. So all of them are small. Like they're thin and small. They have to be if your head can't fit in there.
I don't know.
That's crazy. Wow. Well, I read an article today about, you're going to find this interesting because you don't believe in psychics and mediums, but a psychic accurately predicted where remains were in a 52-year cold case.
Oh, give me a break.
No, they really did. Are you ready for this?
We have psychics and mediums that listen. Can you guys teach me how to be a psychic or medium? That'll be cool.
No, you have to have the ability.
No, there is a strategy. I watched how, like, magicians showed how mediums get people to talk.
These are fake mediums.
No, but they probe.
They're fake mediums.
But they probe like the quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes now. They probe like the real mediums. They do the exact same thing. So
wait,
like they ask questions or they say the letters. Like
yeah, I know.
They know how to do it.
But not all. These are fake mediums that are doing it. Okay, anyway, let me just tell the story.
You're just being defensive because your grandma goes to a medium.
Yes.
And
I want to go.
I can't believe you're going to waste money.
100% I'm going.
If you spend the podcast money on that, you should get arrested for racketeering. Because you're
I'm committing a crime.
You're giving money to a fraud.
Listen, Russ. You can believe in it or not believe in it. Honestly, it's irrelevant because
you're going to spend the money.
You've never encountered somebody who's a medium. You've never even tried. Maybe they would have some really convincing information for you if you actually met them. But you're just so close-minded, you won't even give it a chance. It's frustrating.
Well, like the great Forrest Gump once said, like his mama told him, stupid is as stupid does.
So a psychic accurately predicted where the remains in a 52-year-old cold case would be found. So 23-year-old Douglas Brick disappeared from his dorm on October 12th, 1973 in Utah at his college campus, okay? His remains were found last fall by a hunter, and DNA confirmed it was him. But his mother's name was Donna, and she died in 2010. But she kept a journal, like an ongoing journal, about her son's case for years and years.
I love when people don't give up on their relatives.
She didn't give up. She kept this journal.
But it's so sad.
It is sad. She kept a journal all about the developments in her son's case because he disappeared. Like no one knew where he went. It was like they presumed he was dead, but he was like missing for all that time. So in 1990, in her journal, she wrote that she had a really strange encounter while at a department store. So she was at this department store and one of the clerks said to her, Douglas really wants you to find him. One of the clerks at the department store said this, okay?
All right. Was this case in the news?
What do you mean?
Her case, like her son's missing case.
I don't know. That happened in 1973, and this is 1990.
No, well, I'm just stating that maybe this person saw that her son was missing on TV at one point and recognized her.
Okay, well, this was 1973 that he went missing, and now this lady in this random department store in Salt Lake City, who's a clerk there, is talking to her in 1990.
I would have been like, can you just...
So this has been like 17 years. It's been a long time.
Well, I'll tell you what I would have done, and then I'm curious what you would have done. So if someone tell me that, I'm like, can you just do your job and ring me up?
Definitely wouldn't say that.
What would you say?
I'd be like, tell me more. I'm very curious. What information do you have? Because it was 17 years that had gone by. And this lady doesn't know her. So the clerk said, Douglas really wants you to find him. And the woman told Donna that her son had gone to the foothills above the college campus and he was contemplating suicide. But it started getting dark and it was very steep there and he got scared and he ended up slipping and falling. The psychic told his mom where to look and what area to look in. And they searched that area, but cops must have missed his remains because they didn't find anything. And then last fall, this hunter found a skull in that exact same area that the person back in 1990 told them to look. And the psychic was right all along. That's where he was. That's crazy.
All right. So how many psychics do you think there are in the U.S.?
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up right now.
I think there's probably a few thousand.
As of 2023, there are approximately over 1 million. Oh, shit. I typed and it spell corrected physician.
Oh.
God damn it. It was going to say it was 1 million. Let's say psychics. The problem is I don't know how to spell psychic.
You
So
don't know how to spell psychic?
No. Well, I can figure it out, but if I do speech to
You know there's a silent P in the beginning.
I ain't going to spell it with an S. What the fuck? Give me a fucking break.
You know.
Psychics are there. That's ridiculous. Psychics is a little hard to spell. Psychics. I did not know how to spell that.
You wouldn't know how to spell that?
No.
You're funny.
All right. So according to this website, the source is kind of irrelevant.
Well, it's not irrelevant. Sources are important, by the way.
All right. So my source is today.yougov.com, and it was just the first thing I looked up when I checked to see how many psychics there are.
Okay.
So 1 in 3 Americans feel that they have experienced a psychic moment.
Okay.
So it's safe to say there's probably millions of quote unquote psychics.
No, it said feel like they've experienced a psychic moment. So like them themselves feel like they've talked to dead or seen the dead or whatever.
Yeah. So while just 1 in 5, which is 22% of U.S. Why is 22%? That would be 20. So, all right, now I'm doubting this article. Have ever consulted a psychic or medium, many have had otherworldly experience of their own. For example, 1/3 of respondents, which is about 34%, believe they've had some sort of psychic episode, such as correctly predicting the future. Psychic occurrences are, however, more common among women, which is 40%, than men, 29%. Despite the number of Americans who claim they've had their own bout of clairvoyance, I don't know what that means, just 24% believe there are actually individuals who possess the ability to see the future. There's a gender split here as well. 28% of women think this power exists, while only 19% of men think the same. 38% of U.S. adults report feeling the presence of a spirit sometime during their lifetime. Again, women are more likely than men to have sensed a ghostly entity. Nearly half, 46% of women, in comparison to 30% of men, believe in psychics or mediums. Individuals with the power to contact the dead is low at 21%. So
it's a lot of percentage. I mean, all this article is telling me is that
there's a ton of psychics and
women are better.
There's a ton of
women are smarter than men.
Whoa, that's crazy, because I was thinking, damn, women are dumb.
See, I'm thinking, damn, guys are closed-minded and
all right, so say if there's 100,000 psychics, each only made one prediction. The chances of one of them being right eventually, it's going to happen. It's the equivalent of I have 1,000 darts and I'm throwing darts at a dartboard with my eyes closed. One day I'm going to get a bullseye.
Okay, but
one day, one of these psychics is finally going to get something right. And that doesn't make any of this, what they're doing, true.
Okay, so I believe that there are real psychics and fake psychics. I believe that Sylvia Brown, for instance, we talked about her in the Cleveland kidnapping episode. I feel like she was a kook and a fake psychic. She had a lot of things that she said that were completely wrong, and she like literally ruined Amanda Berry's mom's heart. So I do believe that there are people who are fake. There are people who, you know, think that they have this clairvoyant ability, but they don't really. But then I also believe that there are some people who have encounters with the dead, and I think it is very rare and few and far between. And in this particular case, she wasn't telling the future. She had communicated with the spirit of her dead son.
You believe anything. I
don't believe everything.
I
don't believe everything. I don't. Because I don't believe in certain religions. I don't believe in some of the things certain religions believe. I don't believe in everything, but I do believe that that people, once they die, our spirit goes somewhere and it's able to sometimes communicate with the living. I do believe that.
I hope so.
Because I don't think that I'm not an atheist. I don't believe we just die and turn to nothing in the ground. I don't think that this life that we're living that's so precious is for nothing. I really don't. But I also, I don't believe in everything. But I do think that there are people who are able to have this connection with the spirit world in some way. But I don't believe that all of them that claim to do it are able to. But this case in particular, like, she literally told the lady that where her son's remains would be, and then 50 years, or I'm sorry, it was 1990 that it happened, so like 35 years go by, and the lady was right.
I just think that if you throw enough darts with your eyes closed, you're going to hit the bullseye. Like Mike Tyson, there's a video, actually, you guys should look it up, where Mike Tyson, they give him darts, and I think he throws 2 bullseyes with his eyes closed out of 3 darts.
Okay, but in this...
So it's the equivalent of a psychic. If you make 1 billion predictions, one of them motherfuckers is going to hit.
Okay, but this particular situation, I'm talking about this particular case, this lady approached this lady in a department store, told her that her son wants her to find him, and then told her where the remains would be, and then 35 years later, it was the right spot.
If this lady was so good at being a psychic, I'm not sure if she had been working at a department store.
That's not necessarily true. Maybe people don't want to be famous psychics or like go and do it for money. Maybe she just had this, this situation come up and she talked to the lady about it. I don't know. You're being too closed-minded. You think I'm too open? You're being way too closed.
Well, I'm calling shenanigans.
Are you an atheist? Do you believe we just die and turn to nothing and this whole entire life was for nothing?
Well, let me tell you this. No one knows.
No one knows, yeah.
So people that definitively say things, it's kind of impossible because nobody has been dead. So no one knows. There's people that like have flatlined and they saw things or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also found out that your brain releases a chemical that kind of protects you as you're dying and helps you see things.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I wish it was real. At one point, I kind of was starting to believe. Then I realized like your brain releases this chemical as you're dying. So I want to believe, but it's just, it seems so silly.
What seems silly? Do you believe that
No.
There is no higher power? There's nothing beyond this?
I think everything is possible because no one knows anything, but a lot of it seems absolutely ridiculous. Like someone like Casper the Ghost tapping you on the shoulder and telling you where a random dude is that you don't know to a lady that you don't know, but you probably saw her in the news, so you have an idea.
But that was 17 years later.
There's people with good memories.
Oh my God, Russ. Anyway, I found that article really fascinating because I think it's pretty crazy that this random lady knew this information. It's pretty wild.
So, in Long Island, New York, in Suffolk County, there is a man opening up his pool for the year, as everyone in Long Island does, because I feel like everyone in Long Island has a pool.
Yes. When I think of Long Island, I think everyone has a pool, too.
I really want a pool. If any of you people build pools.
Russ really wants a pool, but we'd have to get rid of our 100-year-old fish pond, and I would feel really guilty doing that.
I've thought about putting a floaty in the pond and just laying in it, but Jess said no.
It's so disgusting. Me and Russ joke around that our pond looks like the East River or the Hudson River.
It's just green
It's
from
so
algae.
green from algae.
We don't know what to do. We feed them. You got a little pump in there and shit.
Yeah, I mean, we have a filter and everything, but it's full of algae. So
The fish are chilling.
they are chilling, and no one's eating them. The cats that roam around, the birds. We have herring around here. No one's eating the fish. All the koi are in there. All the goldies are in there. The golden girls. So
We got catnip by the pond, like growing, and none of the cats eat the fish. But I have noticed that like a lot of the little black fish are missing. I feel like the other fish are eating the baby fish that are growing.
ooh, they're
But I don't-
cannibalizing them.
Well, the ocean is a crazy place. Anything that's bigger than the other thing eats the smaller thing in the ocean. It's kind of crazy. Everything's
is.
just eating everything.
It is, yeah. It's like survival of the fittest. It's pretty nuts. The ocean is a crazy place.
All right, so I was telling a story before Jess interrupted me about a dude was opening his pool in Long Island,
Yeah.
and he opened his pool,
Mm-hmm.
and when he took the cover off, he's opening for the summer. There was a dead man in it.
That's insane.
You'd be like, and it's got to be like,
Decomposed and
That's-
bloated and smelly. Oh my God, imagine. Oh, how freaked out.
and you know, as probably like a dad who takes care of all this, he's probably like, "Fuck, the pH balance is off now," or
Oh,
some shit. That's probably what he
God.
was thinking.
I'm sure he was not. That was not his first thought.
He's probably thinking, "Damn, now I got to drain the water and chlorine and."
Oh,
Whatever they
imagine
do.
imagine you open your pull the cover off, and there's a dead body in it.
So they're thinking it's a fugitive named Matthew Zoll. I think that's how you say it. Zoll or Zoll. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He actually was a fugitive for stabbing his 61-year-old father
Oh, wow.
in that neighborhood, and he's been missing. So they're thinking it may be him, and currently they're waiting for the results of the DNA analysis.
So he stabbed his father and then went on the run?
Yeah. And
Did his father die?
Yes,
So he was a murderer.
I think so.
A murderer.
Yeah, so they're just waiting on the DNA test.
Mm-hmm.
If the DNA shop was open, they wouldn't be waiting
Mm-hmm.
because, we've been working on our new 5-hour turnaround time.
Oh, not 24-hour turnaround? We're cutting it down to 5.
Well, we're actually trying to make it like dry cleaning where you could have like 1-hour service.
Oh, but the technology isn't there yet.
We're getting there.
Okay.
I got my boys working on it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so opening your pool and then seeing that.
That's crazy.
I mean, we find dead birds in our pond.
Yeah.
We found like 2 or 3.
There's been 2 this year that I had to get out of the pond.
How
I
do
feel
they-
so bad.
How does that even happen? Because, like, they're getting water, but, like...
They must have fallen in. I don't know. Maybe they just got sick. I don't know how they end up. But 2 dead birds now have been
And it was
in
a
our
cardinal.
pond. Yeah, one was a cardinal.
Yeah, it wasn't like a pigeon.
I feel bad.
No one feels bad for pigeons.
People don't feel bad for pigeons, I feel like.
Because there's so many and they're all over, at least in New York. I saw... There's no pigeons around here. at
Yeah,
least.
here we have really pretty birds. We have crows.
I really want to be a crow's friend.
I know.
I'm going to try. I keep hearing them and seeing them. I'm peeping their style. I saw someone on the internet make friends with them by giving them, like, dry dog food.
Oh, maybe put like a little plate of dog food outside.
I know, but I don't want to draw like raccoons and shit or like other critters because they already ate the wires in my car and cost me almost $2,000.
Well, that was a rat.
You're a rat. That wasn't my best impression, so I was kind of burping at the same time. But R.I.P. Big Ange.
Well, we spread some news.
And I'm leaving today.
And you're about to watch the Knicks.
Go New York, go New York, go. I have
Yeah.
been messaged by some Pacer fans.
Oh.
So I would like to say, in the most respectful way ever, in New York, SMD. That's what we say.
Well, this has been a tough series to watch, I have to say. So we'll see what happens tonight. But this series has been a tough watch for New York Knicks fans.
Well, I'm hoping that my Lord and Savior Jalen Brunson comes through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pray to him tonight before the game starts.
He
in
didn't
20
come
minutes.
through last game, so we'll see what happens.
Well, he did because he had a couple clutch shots at the end, and he was just having a tough game. But he is part of the Big Head Committee, We both have big ass heads.
You both do have big heads.
Yep. But you can't laugh because early on in our relationship, you're insecure about the shape of your head.
Well, it's because hairstyles look really good on certain girls, and then when I try to duplicate the hairstyle, it looks bad on me, so it has to be related to the shape of my head.
What shape is it?
I don't know, but I just know that when I try to duplicate hairstyles that other girls look really good with,
What hairstyle?
it doesn't look good on me. I don't know, like a messy top bun.
I bet it would look great.
Certain hairstyles, it looks really good on certain girls, and then when I try to do it, I'm like, damn, something must be wrong with my head.
You just got a cone head.
I do not. I don't have a cone head.
She got a big lump in the back of her head.
No, I don't. Why are you saying all of this? You're so full of shit.
Because it's fun.
No, I do not have a lump in the back of my head.
Lovely lady lump. Check it out.
Okay. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We will talk to you guys later. Check us out on Instagram at Wife of Crime Pod and Patreon at Wife of Crime the Crime Family. And the case I have next week is insane. Honestly, some of it's going to be really hard to talk about because this is wild.
They always are.
They are. But this one, like, it's going to be a tough talk for me because the details are disgusting. So look out for that one. It's a lot.
I'm ready for the deets.
The deets. All right. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you later.
All right, folks. See you next time, and may life treat you the way you treat animals.
Yeah. It's your new one.
For now.